And welcome, boys and girls, as we continue to talk about Minecraft and the five themes of geography. So, remember Mr. Help up here at the top? We got the Mr. Help up there, which helps us remember the five themes. We have M for movement, R for region, the HE combined for human environment interaction, the L for location, and P for place. And if you've watched the other video lessons, you know that we only have one of them left, and that today is location. So what about location here? Well, we have two types of location. We have absolute location and we have relative location. So the absolute location, we can connect to coordinates. So when I'm looking at this, I can see that this person's running around, and as they are moving and as they are going through, their position is located on this screen using coordinates. For example, I see 126, 124, 70, 261. A lot of times these are referred to as the X, Y, and Z coordinates to locate where you are. And so when we are talking about absolute location, the biggest thing to understand is it's an exact spot, the exact spot where you are, the exact spot, exact location. You could even think back to like an address would be an exact location. That's an absolute location. The best absolute locations are when you're using longitude and latitude to show your exact location on the earth. So this is an absolute location where you're absolutely located. Then we have relative location. So down here with your relative location, that's your location when it's connected to things in point of reference. If you're north or south of something, if you're next to this building or below this building or beside this building, these are all relative locations. So not your exact location, but just a relative. I'm standing south of the entrance of the temple. I'm standing on top of the bridge. I am standing to the right of these trees or to the left of the river. So these are relative locations. They're not exact, they're not perfect, they're relative. So again, our two new words that we've learned about when dealing with the five themes of geography, specifically the theme of location, we're talking about absolute location, your exact coordinates, your exact longitude and latitude, your address, exactly where you are, and then relative location. Your location relative something else. How closer you are to a tree, your distance away from something you're standing next to, beside, south, north, those are relative locations. And finally, let's end our lesson with a review. So, moving me over here, Mr. Help Review. All right, so again, M stands for movement. Movement is the act or process of changing place or position. So you are moving, and people move throughout history for tons of different reasons. But yes, movement is a key of geography, one of the themes. Next, we have region. So a region is an area of land distinguished by certain features. Climate, region, these can help determine your region or religion, sorry. So climate and religion, these can help determine your region. Okay, the location. Usually when we think of region, we're thinking of several states together. Possibly you could look at, with this picture, several countries that are together that deal with the region. So it's a much larger area when you're thinking of a region. All right, so now interaction or human environment interaction. That's the action or influence between people, places, and things. So think about how people impact their environment. All right, so we modify our environment, we adapt to our environment, and we depend on our environment. So all those things are really important. So now we have relative location, and this is going right with our location. So relative location, locations described with directions. So again, you have an example down here. Tennessee is west of North Carolina. So again, time, landmarks, distance, this is relative. We then have our absolute location. This gives you a specific location. So example for the White House, its address. Longitude and latitude are great absolute locations. And finally, our word place. So a place is an area of space distinguished by physical or cultural characteristics. So when we talked about a place, physical characteristics, we were talking about vegetation, animals, landforms. When we were talking about its cultural characteristics, we were talking about its language, its architecture, and things that specific the clothing that people would wear, the food that they eat. That's their cultural characteristics. So that's all we need. That's what you need to know for your 5 themes of geography. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and had fun using Minecraft to learn those themes.